Hey guys, what is up? It is me, Pagey here, once again with another video on The Flash Season 3. Now this is going to be my trailer breakdown for episode 16, otherwise entitled Into the Speed Force. But before we get into anything else, let's actually watch the trailer.
I'm gonna find Wally. I'm gonna get him back to infinity and beyond.
The Speed Force is a little bit of a crazy place.
Whatever hell Wally's trapped in, I'm gonna set him free.
Never the hero, huh, Barry? I'm learning your lesson, Barry.
Leave while you still can.
Please. Every marathon has a finish line.
So wow, we are coming off one hell of an episode of The Flash, which leads straight into this episode. As I said earlier, the episode is entitled Into the Speed Force, and that title basically does sum up what is going to be happening in this episode. And that's with Barry at least, like he's going to be going into the Speed Force. This is obviously to try find and rescue Wally West from the Speed Force prison he is in after he swapped places with Savitar. Now there is actually quite a few things to pick out and go over from this trailer, but before we do that we will go over the synopsis for this episode. And quickly, if you do go on to enjoy the video, be sure to leave a like on it just to show your support. Let me know in the comment section down below what you're looking forward to most in this episode, and of course if you are new to the channel, make sure to subscribe. Desperate to stop Savitar and save his friends, Barry turns to the Speed Force for answers. HR gives Jesse some advice. So the synopsis for this episode doesn't really highlight anything too grand apart from the fact that it says that Barry wants to save his friends. This could be meaning like in the future tense, or possibly someone other than Wally gets in some trouble from the god of speed himself, Savitar. It does say that HR gives Jesse some advice. I'm not going to say anything about Jesse because it could be spoilerish, but let's just say she's meant to do something in this episode which will be quite entertaining to watch. So the first big thing to point out from the trailer involves the entire reason, from what we know at least, that we are actually going into the Speed Force, and that is Wally West. We see Wally at two different points in the trailer in the same room though, which appears to be a morgue of some type by the looks of it. So Wally would have to be standing before a dead body, right? Yeah, you would have to think so. In regards to who it is, my guess would be out of Joe, Iris, or Francine, his mother. They could also chuck Jesse quick in here if they wanted to. They could do some twisted thing where he's also looking at his own dead corpse, or his corpse might I say, but I think that would be pretty weird. Next up we see Cisco vibing Barry into the Speed Force. You don't see Cisco anymore after this within the Speed Force, so it is most likely a drop-off situation going on here. Unless Barry gets dragged away from Cisco and gets displaced in the scenario and setting we see throughout the remainder of the trailer, But yeah, so I think Cisco's just taking him there, and then when needed, he's going to come get him back, I guess. One part of the trailer I really liked was actually this part here when we see Barry. And outside you can see the effect of the Speed Force through the windows. It's just a nice little addition that I noticed that I really enjoyed, because if you remember last season when we went to the Speed Force, the whole place just looked like a normal neighborhood. But the way that they've done it here, it's almost like the building has just generated itself within the Speed Force, but you can see the rest of it outside the windows, so it's pretty cool. This part of the trailer was pretty damn creepy as we see Caitlin with a baby while singing Hush Little Baby, the lullaby, in a very eerie manner. Obviously we see Ronnie Raymond as well in the trailer. So in this so-called hell that the Speed Force is putting up for Barry, they may show Ronnie and Caitlin happily married with a child, but then present it in a twisted manner like they all might start dying or something like that. You do also see Barry getting hit by some cold energy. It is hard to tell whether it's from Caitlin or another guest character that we will see later on. But yeah, Barry's getting some resistance from what he's trying to do. We then see Eddie Thorn back in the trailer who says, well at least I think he says this, "Remember the hero, huh Barry?" Eddie is wearing the attire that he wore in the season 1 finale for The Flash, and Ronnie was also wearing his makeshift Firestorm suit, which both of these characters actually died in. The trailer does say the ghosts of his past finally catch up to him. So these returning characters are definitely going to screw with Barry, make him feel guilty in some way in order to disrupt his goal for the episode, make Barry feel guilty for their deaths. And that last returning guest character I mentioned earlier is, of course, Captain Cold. If you remember back to the Invasion crossover, Barry is told by Ray that Snart, or Captain Cold, died a hero saving the Legends. Now this would have to be the reason he is here in my opinion, because Eddie and Ronnie were the real heroes who sacrificed themselves in those events around the season 1 finale to protect the ones they love, and so did Snart. This could sort of be hinting at Barry possibly doing the same, possibly when it comes to the final battle with Savitar, but I might just be picking at straws here and they're just really using these 3 characters as the real heroes while Barry sometimes doubts himself as a hero. I was not expecting this though, as we see a Time Wraith fly out, but it is what follows that is massive. We see a hand go around Barry's throat, but whose hands are these? Well, they are Zoom's, you can tell easily, but is it Zoom grabbing him, or is it Black Flash? Seeing this is in the Speed Force, it would be the perfect time to introduce Black Flash to Barry, make him realise what Zoom became at the end of last season. And seeing that a Time Wraith does appear, you think Black Flash would appear with them or something like that? I just don't understand why they would bring Zoom in, because it's not like Zoom was a hero and Barry should feel bad for Zoom for ruining his life. If anything, it would be Black Flash that pops up because it's in the Speed Force, great introduction, and it would be pretty creepy. It would fit the setting. They're going for a pretty creepy setting in this Speed Force thing. Black Flash looks pretty damn scary. I think he would fit perfectly. And finally in the trailer we do see Barry talking to Jay Garrick and he says, every marathon has a finish line. Obviously he's talking about Barry just getting through what's happening at the moment, and there will be a finish line. There is an ending. But is this the real Jay? It's hard to tell, as it could be another creation of the Speed Force or something that Barry's generating within the Speed Force to sort of like spur him on. However, it could be the real Jay here to help guide Barry. He is a speedster. There's no doubting that he might be able to enter the Speed Force. So yeah, it could just be the real Jay. But overall, this trailer is really entertaining. It's coming off a really strong episode. This episode looks like it's going to be really strong. We're getting some returning characters, which looks great. I'm very intrigued to see the struggle that Barry might go through to get Wally out of the Speed Force, because if you remember back to last season, it was just Barry trying to get himself out of the Speed Force, but now he's trying to get someone else out, and Wally's stuck in there. Like, I don't think Wally's going to be able to do too much to help himself, so it's really up to Barry to get Wally out of there. But thanks for watching, guys. If you did enjoy the video, be sure to leave a like on it. Let me know in the comment section down below, what are you looking forward to most in this episode. Do you think it's either Zoom or Black Flash grabbing Barry around the throat? It's one of them. It's obviously one of them. I guess you could say it could be the rival, but that would just be really random. So it's definitely either Zoom or Black Flash that's grabbing Barry around the throat. Who do you think it is? And of course, if you are new to the channel, make sure to subscribe. I'll catch you later, guys. Goodbye.